What's going on, everybody? This is dkdynamite, and this morning we're going to be talking about the insane reveal for MW3 Zombies, a new leak suggesting round-based maps, plus even more. Definitely stay tuned. But before we jump into that, be sure to hit that subscribe button down below, drop a like, and also as a reminder, we got plenty of brand new content going up over on dkdynamite.com, expanding on all the coverage you're seeing here on the channel, just in the form of articles on the website and plenty of tweets on Detonated's Twitter. There was so much to cover from COD Next when it comes to every single game mode, and I tried my absolute best. Hopefully you guys weren't too overwhelmed, but everything has been organized game mode by game mode. Hopefully that was helpful. But real quickly, wanted to clarify what's been going on with MW3 Zombies and my coverage for that mode. So I flew out to LA last Tuesday, which was 2 days before the COD Next event. That same day, select creators were also invited to Treyarch to go ahead and get their hands on MW3 Zombies, while they also received about 15 to 20 minutes of gameplay on a USB stick. That footage was pre-recorded by the studio and was not their own individual gameplay. I did not attend that specific event, but a day after that, there was a pre-brief before COD Next where we all got briefed on information about every single game mode and everything that was going to be revealed during the COD Next broadcast. Well, I took plenty of notes and managed to schedule a bunch of tweets and articles about MW3 Zombies, but I didn't have that gameplay. So I'm like, you know what? Instead of making a video with custom zombie gameplay in the background with this info, let me wait till I get actual footage of MW3 Zombies, which I would end up seeing during the COD Next broadcast. So with that being said, during the COD Next broadcast, I was going to go ahead and do like a reaction to the trailer and talk more about the info that I took notes about, but I wasn't able to actually watch the broadcast while streaming from LA since there were some audio issues on that PC while I was there. So I'm like, you know what, let me just wait and cover Zombies info once I'm back home in my office. But hey, the new version of Damn sounded excellent. We got a glimpse of it while in the lobby over at COD Next, and they obviously, I think, played a little bit of it during the COD Next broadcast. A nice sit down with Miles Leslie, Kevin Drew. They went ahead and talked quite a bit about the upcoming Zombies experience, and it was also wild seeing real life perk machines at COD Next as well. Did not expect that whatsoever. I do have a COD Next vlog coming up in the next couple of days. But the trailer that we got was excellent. I managed to watch it a day before COD Next, and I took plenty of notes from that trailer alone. Some of the things that were shown in the trailer were not then elaborated on during the next broadcast or in other YouTubers' gameplay. I know some YouTubers that did post gameplay did provide some additional details about the mode, which I'm going to break down here in this video, and those are details that, again, were not shared by the studio at all during COD Next. But as the studio themselves did say, it's going to be players versus mercs versus zombies. It's the best time to become a Zombies fan. There's going to be deep replayability and discoverability inside of this new version of Outbreak, and it combines the best elements of both Outbreak and DMZ, right? In the trailer, we get to see giant abominations, right? They're much bigger than they were in Cold War. You can see Cold War era perks, same perk cans, this crazy looking bike, and I'm not sure how you actually get your hands on this, but this looks like a lot of fun to use. We can see what looks like the new wonder weapon known as the Scorcher, and it looks like it has an ability to give you like these anti-gravity boots. It'll launch you into the air, either away from zombie hordes or into zombie hordes. We can see Hellhounds, a new Pack-a-Punch camo, a giant centipede boss at the end, which is funny because the artwork that leaked out from MW3 Zombies did have this centipede on it. And I say leaked out because I think Walmart prematurely revealed the artwork that was a part of this little collector's box for MW3, and it showed the centipede. We also get to see Jug being used, more vehicles, parachuting, and of course 24 players total in a lobby of MW3 Zombies. But about a day or so before the COD Next broadcast did start, some people out there broke through the beta on PlayStation, were posting early gameplay and multiplayer. Then other leaks started surfacing about Zombies, in which some leakers did say that Black Ops 2024 is set to launch with 2 round-based maps. Of course, we're very far away from the launch of that game. MW3 hasn't even released yet, but if that is the case, that's good news for those out there that do want to see round-based come back. I mean, I'd prefer Treyarch just save round-based for games that they actually develop in full, right? I'd rather not see them put resources into round-based in games that aren't theirs. And obviously, we're far away from launch, so this is of course subject to change, but there were leaked icons in Modern Warfare 2 early last year during the beta window where we got to see a round-based and an Outbreak icon. So Treyarch was working on a new iteration of Outbreak this entire time. Maybe they just pulled it forward and ensured that that came out first through MW3's On Disc Zombies. Maybe originally the plan was to use this Outbreak experience as some free-to-play element in their next game, or also on disc in their next game, like they did with Cold War Outbreak. But some YouTubers that were at Treyarch did claim that they were told there is a possibility we see round-based in MW3 Zombies. There's a possibility that we revisit round-based before the next Black Ops game. So that would actually be crazy. I wouldn't mind if we got that, if the maps were polished, and if for whatever reason Treyarch themselves decided, hey, it actually makes more sense to drop these maps in MW3 instead of our next Black Ops game. I'd hope that that's the case, or the 2 round-based maps I just mentioned a few minutes ago, maybe the ones that are planned for launch of the next game also get pulled forward for whatever reason, put into MW3, and then they go from there. But think about how Vanguard did it, right? There were 2 objective-based maps, Durang Fung and Terra Maledicta, then 2 round-based maps added in, which was Shinonuma Reborn and the Archon. And I get it, the Archon was essentially a reskinned Terra Maledicta, but maybe that's how MW3 Zombies does it, where we have Outbreak support on Urzikstan, maybe we get Outbreak support on another Warzone map later in the year, whether it's on Rebirth, whether it's on Fortune's Keep, or a different environment that could be exclusive. Then we get 2 round-based maps to kind of close off the MW3 Zombie cycle before a Season 6. Then we go full force again with round-based at launch of Black Ops 2024, and even the possibility of seeing a new iteration of Outbreak later in the next Black Ops game cycle. That could even go free to play. So lots of rumors to juggle around with right now in regards to how Zombies is going to work. Now, other details were shared about how quests are going to work inside of MW3 Zombies. You guys will probably find this interesting. So it was confirmed that at launch, we are going to have a main quest of sorts that you're essentially guided through in the form of what look like contracts and missions similar to DMZ. So you get guidance on how to beat whatever this quest is, but then there won't be an Easter egg until post-launch. Now, I'm going to assume that we have a 3-week gap between launch and Season 1, right? Unless Season 1 gets delayed. That's supposed to come out on, what, December 5th, December 6th. That 3-week gap is probably when we have all the time in the world to figure everything out inside of MW3 Zombies. Then during Season 1, we end up getting a quote-unquote Easter egg, which is going to be a bonus quest in the map that we have no guidance for, as we're accustomed to in older Black Ops titles. Now, it was also confirmed that we're going to have tutorial-like missions called Operation Deadbolt inside of MW3 Zombies, kind of getting us used to the environment, the gameplay loop, where we have to do things like use the mystery box, kill X amount of zombies, pack a punch of weapon, very basic things that you would have also remembered doing inside of Outbreak from Cold War. Now, there's even 2nd and 3rd tier missions that you'll be seeing, and these are going to be story oriented, right? These aren't tutorial based by any means. These will be essentially the hardcore element of the gameplay loop, where you go through a portal, it'll take you to a special section of the map, almost a sub-map that is story driven, and that's going to be separate from the big environment you spawn in on with Urzikstan. So that's going to sound like a bit of an advanced holdout like we saw in Cold War Outbreak, where a portal will take you to a special section of the map that you can't normally access, except that was for an objective, whereas this seems like this is part of a bigger type of quest that still is an objective for the map, but is going to be very story oriented and are going to be required to complete before getting to the final type of mission inside of MW3 Zombies. So the special mission at the end will put you on a helicopter, it'll take you somewhere else, and upon completing whatever that final mission is, you'll get a cinematic cutscene. So we are going to be seeing cinematic cutscenes in MW3 Zombies, I'm assuming both through these story-driven Tier 2, Tier 3 missions, and then through whatever Easter egg quests we also end up getting later on in the year. But some other cool details in regards to the gameplay loop do include that, yes, operator slots are returning. I think this mode has been described as combining the best elements of DMZ and Outbreak. There's going to be item persistence, so yes, you will see insurance weapons come back, contract weapons you can bring in, consumable acquisitions like Pack-a-Punch, weapon rarity, ammo mods, wonder weapons, which you can find in matches. Take them out and start your next match with. You can exfil with powerful weaponry like that and come right back into another game with all of that content. Tombstone is also coming back and sounds more overpowered than ever. Actually, really useful compared to how it used to work in other Black Ops titles. You can actually die out in a match of this new MW3 Zombies mode. Your tombstone will stay where you died, and upon your next infill into the experience, you can go ahead and pick up that tombstone and get all your stuff back. That is insane. That is a crazy regain method by using tombstone. PhD is also back, and something to clarify is that when you go down in this mode, you don't lose your perks. You have to bleed out completely to lose your perks. So that's pretty casual friendly. The locations of perk machines also randomize every game, and Pack-a-Punch prices have been reduced to 5,000, 10,000, and 15,000 in comparison to what the prices were in Vanguard and even Cold War. The Pack-a-Punch machine is actually zone gated, meaning there's going to be 3 total Pack-a-Punch locations, 1 in each zone in a match. match, and there's going to be 3 different zones in every match MW3 Zombies that you infill into. Now, in terms of some of the more hardcore elements of the mode, you're going to be seeing a lot of weapon leveling strats in Zombies, because apparently the folks that played it early a couple days ago were saying that weapon leveling was extremely fast while grinding the mode. There's going to be a mastery camo grind, which I talked about a little bit in my previous video. There will also be schematics allowing you to craft a wonder weapon and ammo mod, and even perk cans. So ammo mods won't be through Pack-a-Punch, you have to find them in the environment. And I know they're also a part of acquisitions, but they will also be schematics, right? Being able to essentially permanently craft some of these items and take them into maybe multiple matches. Now, field upgrades are also back, except for Ring of Fire, which is interesting. Now, perks also aren't tiered, which is interesting because they were inside of Cold War and Vanguard. Maybe there'll be a separate upgrade system for them later on, unless all of the tiers we saw in previous games just built into these perks day one. It's a little unknown, but you can also find wonder weapon cases inside of matches, similar to weapon cases in DMZ, except they'll actually have a use that you can take advantage of for future matches. Again, we'll clarify more about acquisitions and schematics closer to the game's release when we get more information. Now, information about bosses was also provided, so it was suggested that you'll need more players to actually kill some of these tougher bosses in a match, maybe more than just the 3 players on your squad or the 6 players that you can band together through assimilation. I think it was suggested by some of the content creators that you could assimilate even more than 6 players if you want to. Maybe there's no cap on assimilation, and you can have almost 24 players on a single team. I mean, theoretically, with Prox Chat, you could just walk up to other players and just say, hey, let's work together to do something. Even if you can't assimilate using the feature, you could have 6 players on one squad, 6 on another, 6 on another, and just talk to each other through voice chat and do whatever you have to do against a certain boss. That's totally possible. And there's also going to be mercenary AI that you'll find in outposts on the map, and upon clearing the mercenaries, they'll drop a stronghold key. You go and open a stronghold, clear that area, you can get a fortress key, and upon going to the fortress, there will be something called a warlord boss, which players out there did not get to see during the early play session. So that sounds pretty crazy, and Treyarch recommended they don't try that on their first attempt of MW3 Zombies because it's quite difficult. A lot of secrets that we have yet to discover that I'll be covering, of course, day one on November the 10th. But then we have the wonder weapon coming towards the end here, the Scorcher, made for demolishing the highest density of zombies. So you'll have an alt fire attachment with it that can launch you into the air to either jump into or jump away from a horde. The thing looks very powerful and looks like a lot of fun. I know in the mystery box people also saw the ray gun, the Wonder Waff DG2, so we're gonna have essentially 3 wonder weapons at launch in MW3 Zombies, with the ability to even craft this new one, which I'm really looking forward to. But I'm sure you can probably craft all 3 of different wonder weapons. Being able to exfil out with them and go back into a fresh game with these weapons is gonna be really helpful for strategizing certain missions, Easter egg quest. I'm really looking forward to this, but the gameplay that was provided does look absolutely fantastic. But if you're still concerned about that 60-minute timer, it was clarified there's a 45-minute timer before the ether storm actually closes in on you. Then you have 15 minutes to actually exfil before that storm fully closes in and kills everybody. So yeah, 60 minutes total in a match. That could always be adjusted later, right? Once we all play the mode for ourselves day one, if they have to make adjustments and say, you know what, let's extend that to 90 minutes, they might end up doing that. Keep that in mind, right? It's essentially an hour-long session to start with escalating zones difficulty based on location, not time or number of kills. You're actually encouraged to survive at your own pace. But it's a persistent ether storm that spreads in and out. It's going to be cool to see. But again, it's very extraction focused, different from either Outbreak or DMZ, so to speak, but combines elements of both to make an entirely new Zombies experience. But that is about it. This has been dkdynamite. Leave our thoughts down below in the comment section. What are your thoughts on the MW3 Zombies gameplay that we got so far over from COD Next? How are you feeling about all the reveals, the extra details that were shared off screen, plus everything else we discussed? Really hope you've enjoyed, and peace out, everybody.